What's up, guys? How's it going? It is Matt here. So, what I'd like to talk about today, guys, is don't ever confuse being knowledgeable with being proficient. There's a big difference between being knowledgeable and being proficient. So, let's get into it. Now, every single time I do a 1911 video, there's always one dude or two dudes or 20 dudes that pretty much copy and paste what the other person said and they comment on that in the actual comment section of the video. And that thing that they always comment every single time is that this guy right here, this 1911, any type of 1911 like this, is a horrible choice for a concealed carry firearm. It is a horrible choice for competition. It is a horrible choice for duty carry. Why? Because it's got this clicky thingy here, and it's got this thingy here called manual safeties. That ain't true. That ain't true, especially if you are proficient with that firearm. All right. Now, what I mean by that, guys, is don't ever confuse being knowledgeable with being proficient. You know, there could be a person that knows every single thing about architecture. Every single thing they've studied their entire life about architecture, how this is built, the names and the people and the history behind them, and they build it. But then ask them to go build a building, to go design a building, and see how well they do. Just because they know a lot about it doesn't mean that they're proficient and that they are capable of doing it. All right? Now, what being proficient means is that you have so much muscle memory with it that that little thingy right there will not slow you down. All right, that little thingy right there, turning it on and off, okay, on and off, which is actually a really easy thing to do. That right there, you can do it with your eyes closed because you have so much muscle memory. And the way how you get all that muscle memory is hours and hours of dry fire practice, handling your firearm. Hours and hours of dry fire practice and thousands of rounds down range. That is how you become proficient with a specific system. And I'm not just talking going to a range and setting it down on the the little stand and then going up to target, put it down range, boom, pull the trigger, then put it down. I'm talking in and out of the holster. All right, in and out of the holster, in and out of the holster, safety down, present, pull trigger, right? That's what I'm talking about. Being proficient with a system is something you can do at your home for starters. It is something it's all about training and drills that you can do to learn how to manipulate the system properly so you get the muscle memory. What we always talked about in the military when we had our M16s, we had M16A2s at the time, I was a 203 gunner, is we would do this thing for boot camp. We do this week called grass week. All right, grass week. So pretty much picture this. All right, so you wake up in the morning, you have some chow, maybe you do some PT, have some chow, you sweat your butt off, you get your butt yelled at all day long, and then you spend, let's say, 12 hours under the hot, moist, nasty sun, covered in sand fleas, laying on the ground, pointing your M16A2 at a barrel that has things that look like targets on it, and sitting there all day long going, click, racket, click, racket, click, for 12 hours straight a day, for a week straight. That's how you become proficient with something. It's called muscle memory. Practice, practice, time and time and time again. There's a lot of people that can have a lot of knowledge when it comes to 1911s. They can have a ton of knowledge when it comes to 1911s. They know the history of it. They know the stories behind it. They know this. They know how this works. They could quote velocities of rounds and various weights through this. It's like right there. That makes them an expert, right? A knowledgeable expert. And then they create a YouTube channel and they go out there and they talk all about it. And we'll just hypothetically speaking here, and they talk about how they're a great expert and they know everything about this, and they're telling all these ballistic sharks in 1911 and all this other stuff that comes into it. Then it's time for them to prove themselves on the range, or say they want to do a video, and then they pick up the gun. They got one of these things. They go, boom, boom, or they do one of the type of deal. All right. Are they very proficient with that firearm, or are they just really knowledgeable about that firearm? Being proficient means practice all the time. Now, the response I give to all these people that come out there in the comments is pretty much the same thing. Safeties are not a problem. You know, these people, I guarantee you, they know all about ARs. I guarantee you, they probably even have an AR, and they probably don't even think about the safety on it because they've trained and they shot it enough times that the safety becomes very simple for them. However, it's a 1911, and all the other YouTube channels tells you that this thing right here is the devil. All right, this little safety here and this thing here, that's the devil, and you need to stay away from that darn thing, right? Just because you aren't very proficient with the system doesn't mean that other people aren't very proficient with the system. You know, I've spent, I don't even know how many hours, I have no clue how many hours I spent dry fire practice, dry fire training with this. You know, I have my Target Pro down here. Yeah, you can see my camera there. I have a little laser insert I put in there. So I work on presentation drills. Like I said, this has been a cleared part of the video. I work on my daily presentation drills, clearing the cover garment, getting it up, put it on target. And every single time, I don't know if you can hear the clicking, but let's just listen really quick. Well, I'll stop talking so you can listen. This is what it sounds like every single time I drop from the holster. You hear that little clicky noise in the background? I don't have to think about it anymore because I've developed that muscle memory. So I just act. I just function. Under stress, under pressure, under duress, I will be able to function with a 1911. For me, it is just part of my draw. I need to catch myself doing it with my Glocks. The second I bring it up here, all right, what I do in my draw, I pull the cover garment, I bring it up here. My thumb is always up here, flagging around out here. My thumb is always out here, right in the spot. Right now, it's resting on my safety. The second I transfer my hand over to that gun, it's usually boom. That's when I put that clicky down, that clicky thingy, devil thing down, and then I put it out in target. And then when I put it back in the holster, I bring it back, pop it up, clear the cover garment, and put it back in. And I do that like that every single time because I train, I practice, I've become proficient with the firearm. Am I knowledgeable about them? Yes, I'm knowledgeable about them. Am I as knowledgeable about them as, say, Mr. Wilson? No, I'm not. I'm not as knowledgeable about as Bill Wilson was when he created Wilson Combat. Am I as knowledgeable as Larry Vickers, Ken Hackathorn, or people like that have been using 1911s for longer before I was even born? No, I'm not as knowledgeable about them. Am I as proficient as them? No, I'm probably not as proficient with them because they've done who knows how many hundreds of thousands, if not millions of rounds through those firearms in dry fire practice on a daily basis. That has made them proficient. It has made them well-tuned machines when it comes to 1911s. And I mean that literally, is when you're shooting, you just do it naturally. All right, when you become proficient with something. The same thing goes for AR-15s. I don't know how many times overseas when I was over in Iraq, getting shot at, shooting back, clearing buildings, and my thumb was on that safety, and every single time I moved, that safety was on. And every single time I muzzled up, that safety was off. On, off, all day long. Literally. You don't sleep sometimes, all day long, nonstop, clear room, on, off, on, off, on, off. You do it so much that you develop that muscle memory and that you become proficient with it. All right, you become proficient with it. So don't ever confuse being knowledgeable with proficiency. Just because you know a lot about the firearm doesn't mean that you're very proficient with it. So don't automatically think that when you see someone else using the firearm that they're going to stumble and fumble like you are, because that person is probably trained, high probability that person's trained a heck of a lot more than you, and probably put a heck of a lot more rounds through that specific platform than you have ever done in your entire life. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about me, guys. If you like the content of this channel, you know what to do, guys. Go check me out over at Patreon. The link will be down below in the description. You can help support this channel with whether it's $1 a month or whatever you want to do, whatever you can afford. You can help support this channel, and I can bring you more reviews and all that other good stuff and help out and get some more content for you. Anyway, guys, it's our responsibility to take care of each other and protect each other. Peace.